Hello and welcome everybody to today's session, How Customer Master Their Journey Towards an Intelligent Enterprise. My name is Karl Silanek and I'm within Red Hat responsible for the business development in the CEMEA region for SAP projects. With me is today Diego Barbizan, who is the Senior Vice President at GPA. Have supported a lot of customers during their journey, taking also steps within the S/4HANA migration, did it successfully, and we invited him today to give us some insights, how the customer take the challenge, what needs to be focused on, which decision have to be taken during this process. So Diego, can you share some details with us how customer master their S/4HANA migration?
Absolutely, it's a pleasure, Karl. Thank you very much for inviting me in this great symposium. So basically, let me say, I don't want to play the role of a preacher right now, but I think that some highlights useful to share with you could support what I will present in really few charts. Okay. So when we talk about migration, we have to be really precise. We don't have to migrate something because it's a rule, because it's a need, but we have to understand how to extract value from a migration. We are working till 2019 in this kind of environment of projects, putting our effort with our technical team in order to better understand what are the right steps to follow in order to, as I said, extract value. First of all, let me say that we don't have to start with the technological part, but we have to focus on the value. That's the reason why we put on top of everything a phase called value discovery that allow us and the customer together in teaming to better understand how to improve their business processes. On top of that, we will be able for sure to identify the best technical way to for moving from point A to point Z. And we have, as I said, multiple opportunities, multiple approaches. The greenfield one, starting from scratch, the hybrid one, for example, okay, as well as the brownfield approach. What is really important and appreciated from our customer install base are the accelerator. So GPA with this company is one of the, let me say, official conversion factories. So we spend money and time with the SAP Solution Center based in Waldorf in order to clearly identify what are the technical steps in order to assure to the customer timing and economical effort, okay? So we develop a couple of packages, let me say, called evaluation and conversion. And between the two, we have a preparation activities in order to assure the result. So we start from a deep comprehension of the customer SAP environment. We will produce an evaluation document with all the details and the difference between the old processes and the new one processes. When I talk about processes, I don't want to talk about just business processes, but also information one, okay? Then we can share with the customer a kind of, we call this one playroom, so they can test directly the new system with the new opportunity that an S4 environment can allow the customer. Then we prepare everything in order to assure the time frame agreed with the customer. So basically, we are able to complete the entire process in some weeks. We are not talking about years, okay? So we are talking about 20 weeks. And the end of the journey, we will convert technically. Converting means working close with the customer super user in order, as I said at the beginning, to extract more value from the system conversion and migration. And the funny thing is not that one, because right now we are just talking about, let me say, usual matter, okay? The customer that already migrates his system in the past is really able to understand what is the journey. But the funny thing is that one, using this kind of methodology, okay, the customer is able to understand what are the new pillars of the system, of the S4 system, and is able to understand how to manage over the time. And now we introduce a nice acronym, which is TCO, total cost of ownership, in order to maintain and to look every time on this matter. This is a nice example from one of our small and medium business customer. Okay, is an Italian-based customer that decide to implement new apps. So we are moving out of the core of the ERP system, and we are talking about a MIS example using a containerized platform. In this case, we are talking about OpenShift. So that's basically our approach, Carl. So up to you right now.
So thank you, Diego, for this insights and your explanation on the approach with the customers you take. Let me summarize maybe in this way. So OpenShift and the container platform is one of the key elements which offers value during a TCO calculation with the customers, building the new IT base for the upcoming challenges. We are at the moment the first is into the direction of an intelligent enterprise from an IT or business perspective. From a business strategy perspective, we have other business obstacles we need to support with the IT landscape. So let's think about what is key to these kind of migrations. So I assume data is very important in this area. So have you some insights around AI, ML, IoT, and the other buzzwords which are coming up, and how they are somehow play a role within an S/4HANA migration, or could play a role?
Great topic, Carl. Thank you very much to highlight this one, because data is everything if we talk about TCO, total cost of ownership. But before moving on with the data value, let me answer with another question. Okay, so the question is really simple. Okay, when we talk about data, we talk about automation, right? For sure. So why we have to embrace the automation? So according to Gartner research, we are working till last year with the analyst Gartner, the organizational goals for 2021 are really, really clear. We got 3 topics. Everyone wants to pursue the lower costs, to improve their quality, and to increase their agility. Okay, when we talk about which 3 topics, for sure we are talking about data. But the nice thing is that you don't have just to manage the data. You don't have just to manage the automation. You have to reframe the automation in order to be effective, Carl. Let me make some example. You have to move from an ad hoc approach, when we talk about data, we talk about automation, from a business case, from a use case analysis. So you go deep into the business process. That's the reason why you are able to talk about value and not just IT matter, let me say, okay? You have to improve the governance doing this kind of reframing. You have to put your eyes to the end-to-end orchestration. So everything has to assure a manageable TCO. And let me say, in our experience as per today, we saw, so we have the proof that using some tools like Ansible, automation platform, you are able to pursue this goal effectively. So you don't have to reinvent something that is already formalized, you know what I mean? So basically, I think that's That could be a nice answer, Carl, but it's not enough. I think I would share also this not very simple, honestly, chart, but I would like to give the message what relating of what I mean about extending beyond the core. We are talking about automation. We are talking about data. Okay. Today, if we are talking about a transformation, so from a digital company to a intelligent enterprise journey, we have to talk about container-based installation. We have to talk about DevOps model enabler. Okay, so that's the reason why we discover in the last 14 months a huge value in Red Hat technology. And our focus is really on OpenShift platform, because OpenShift platform allows something really useful. For sure, you can work with the multi-cloud, that is the official trend, let me say, of every market, small and medium business, large enterprise, but you can choose whatever hyperscaler you want. So you don't have constraint. And that's a real funny thing. Let me say another thing really useful. I don't know if you remember my first chart. In this chart, I try to explain the journey and the approach, greenfield, brownfield, hybrid. When we talk about, so I'm talking right on top, when we're talking about extending about the core, we come back to the same matter: reduce TCO and custom lifecycle manage totally independently. These are the focus. These are the key cards. So that's, I think that's all for this better. What do you think about that?
Thank you. That's great, Diego. Thank you for these insights. Thanks for sharing this with us. So let me summarize maybe the key things, takeaways I've learned from your presentation. So the first thing for me is multi-cloud, hybrid cloud is not only a wave, this is a direction where companies
Absolutely,
are
yes.
looking in and are going. So that means if you have a strategy to be flexible and independent, you do not come over not to choosing a container-based platform. And as we learned from you, you see Red Hat OpenShift as the container platform for the customers while they are doing the migration towards S/4HANA, choosing a side-by-side approach, combining this with API technologies to build microservices with Fuse and 3Scale in our way. So this is the one point. When we now take the strategy of SAP and the words from Christian Klein, he say what makes an intelligent enterprise an intelligent enterprise. So it's all about automatization of the business processes, of the decision processes where you need data in real time. And there it makes sense to take also a containerized platform from the sensor where the data is created towards the data center where the data are somehow prepared for the consumption of these decision processes. So, and all of these views and combining this to an IT strategy, this will lower the TCO significantly.
Right.
And also
Absolutely.
supported by the automation of Ansible, maybe with an add-on choosing to make the infrastructure around the edge useful and seamlessly managed. We also can attach self-healing processes to this so that you get the best out of it for the installation, for the running of such environments regarding updates, changes, and so on. And while we are looking not only on 1 or 2 edge gateways, but thousands of, or maybe in some examples for enterprises of millions of edge gateways, detached to thousands and millions of sensors. So this could be the platform, the portfolio to support customers based in time, based in automatization, and at the end, business-wise on the TCO. Got it right?
Right. And let me, if you don't mind, I would like to add something, Carl,
Yes,
because
please.
this topic is really the core, okay, of the entire conversation. So we talk about data, we talk about automatization, we talk about containerized approach, but we are talking about a new narrative, basically, okay? That's something that we learn from our customer, honestly. The three most important topics in every company that has to make money, honestly, to survive, are processes, are people, and are technology. Okay. Data is the core of these three elements. That's the reason why data is the core experience technology, in order to become more innovative, as well as I said, intelligent enterprise. But we have to underline that we don't have to just think about the technological matter. I try to summarize in a simple line. Just upgrading to S4H is a defensive move. Don't make sense, honestly. You have to extract value. Why you have to extract value? Because if you do this kind of investment, if you walk along this journey, you can have huge benefits coming from, for example, you already told about that, AI and machine learning algorithm. You are able to rethink about your information process that will support your business processes. That's the key. And automation orchestrated by Ansible is one of the solution, let me say, as well as the containerized with the application with the OpenShift platform. Okay, so we have to think one simple topic: data means value. Data and automatization has to be reframed. Everyone has to think different. And if you spend your money with SA4 technology and you put in this journey the Red Hat portfolio, as I already shared, that's the easiest approach to extract money and value from data. So I don't want to be, let me say, too much strong on this concept, but that's the key. We have the cases. That's the reality. It's not just a matter of imagination or a futurable trend. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. And thank you for this enthusiasm you're bringing into your speech. It's great to hear that customers love the joint engagement of us together with SAP and IBM in the projects, because I also know that you are certified partners of the other two companies.
Yes, right.
You can also add value to it. But coming to the end somehow, this is a great approach. And as you might know, we are facing since 1 year a very tough situation with the pandemic, with the lockdowns in many of the countries and the regions. So I believe that this circumstance somehow showed a lot of customers where they are staying with their data management, with their data cleans, with their data engagements towards decision processes. So we will also, I guess, from a business side, we'll see that some companies running out of business, but this is also a chance for other businesses to somehow step in and take it over.
Right.
So let me somehow ask you to finalize questions, and I would like to have your honest opinion on this. So the first is, how can we support customers which are facing these challenges at the moment to get prepared after the lockdown to immediately be in the business again? And how can we support a customer strategy for somehow fighting against and setting up the pace for the space which gets free in their industry to take up on their competition in the market? So what is your maybe meaning in this?
So thank you very much. It's a really strong question. Honestly, I'm not a wizard. Okay, so I can share with you some talk if you don't mind. So let me say, when we talk about pandemic, and I interview many company over the last 12 months, we got two, let me say, type of companies. The successful one, and let me call them flat companies. Okay. The flat companies, if you talk with this company and you ask, so what do you are doing in order to come out from this bad situation because of the pandemic? And the answer is that's simple. We wait that the pandemic will end for sure. Okay, so really flat approach. The successful company use the, let me say, the 3F approach. So fast, fluid, and fair. Why fast? Because this company, these people understood that they have to be fast in order to adapt their processes, their value to their customer value. Okay, and let me add on this the customer of their customer value. So they understood that you have to rethink their model. Fluid, because they have to be ready for shape shift, you know what I mean, like the oil, right? Okay. The third one, fair, because to clearly, believe me, to clearly understand what you have to improve in your organization, you have to be fair. So if we relate what I just said to what I shared with Future, the answer could be just one. If the customer understand that data coming from their customer, data coming from the market, data coming from the supplier, data coming from their ERP system, CRM system, etc., are the new real value. And they understood that they have to reframe the approach with this data, they will do the difference immediately. And let me add, they already did the difference over the pandemic, because I can share with you many examples of company with a cut of their revenue around 50%, that today, and we are February 2021, so after some months, are 30% over their budget. So we can do that. And technology can improve and support this kind of economical results. Okay. I don't know if it's the answer that you expected from my side, but I'm really tranchant, as our French friend love to say. Okay.
Thank you very much, Diego, for these insights and for this outlook. I appreciate your openness and your knowledge around this and your guidance. So I hope that the audience will get the message, and if they would like, I believe you would like to that they reach out to you to discuss it in further, if they would like. So please go ahead and send us an email or get in contact with us. We love to help you on this journey out of the pandemic and through the migration towards an intelligent enterprise. And thanks, Diego, for your time. Hope this was valuable for the audience. Thank you very much for joining, and wish you a great day and some quite good learnings in the other sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will be delighted to share our experience or our thought with many people. Thank you. Thank you once again, Carl.
Thank you.